Hello everyone. Good morning. This is Damon, Achieve Today Coaching. Thank you so much for being here at the webinar. We're excited to have all of you here with us. We're going to quickly do a sound check and make sure everything's working properly, get everyone prepared and ready for the call here. So looks like I see about 3 of you here on the line, or at least on the webinar. There may be some of you on a cell phone, not coming in through the computer, and that's fine. But let's do a sound check. Let's make sure everything's working correctly. So I see Kendra, Lori, and Wendy. So go ahead and do a hand raise. There's a little hand icon there you see on your screen. Go ahead and just tap on that. Okay, Lori, you're good to go. And then if you tap on that again, like you did there, Lori, then that lowers the hand. All right, Wendy, you're good to go. Okay, what about you, Kendra? Can you hear me okay as well? Okay. Awesome. I think everything's working properly. So that, by the way, that's the way that you can respond or, to any questions that we have. And then the other way you can do that, there is a little question mark there, icon that you should be seeing on your screen. You click on that as well, and you can type in your response, sort of like a chat feature if you want to do it that way. The other way is we can enable our microphone, you enable yours on your end, you just unmute it, and then we can speak to you that way as well. So that might be the case in this webinar because we do have a smaller group. We might want to do that. So just be prepared if the presenter does call on you to maybe respond or answer a question or something. That's another way to communicate. All right, awesome. Well, we're excited to have all of you here with us. And again, and also if you want to be doing this, because we have a smaller group, we do want to integrate whatever questions you have related to coaching others or helping others out in some way or another. I know all of you here are here for that reason. You want to help someone out in some way or another, maybe even coach and really kind of build this into something bigger. So whatever questions you have related to that, go ahead and just kind of think through that. You can even type that in the question box there feature if you want to present that question to us, and then Adam can go ahead and try to address that for you. Okay, so why not, right? Let's kind of customize this to you folks while you're here. Our goal and our focus here is to make sure that we have you walk away from this webinar with value and with something you can take away that will really benefit you and those that you interact with. Okay, so and also be fully present on this call. We do ask that you do that. We're going to be present with you, so it's only fair that we're on the same page with that. So if you want to eliminate any distractions, texting, anything like that. It's kind of like when you're driving, in a way you want to be fully focused on this in order to get the most out of it. All right, so awesome. Let's go ahead and present Adam, and then we'll go from there. So over the last decade, Adam Mortimer has used the latest technologies to help clients discover and overcome their limiting beliefs so that they can stop unconscious self-sabotage and live the life of their dreams. Now, Adam has a wife and twin boys and 2 daughters. Family comes first with Adam, and he loves to travel the world with his family. Now, Adam has spent the last decade or so decoding the mysteries of the human mind, working with many of the greats in that field today. He's worked with some of the stars of The Secret, including Joe Vitale, also worked with Brendan Burchard, Zig Ziglar, Dennis Waitley, who is a coach for NASA, the Olympics, and Coca-Cola, just to name a few. Adam has also been privileged to share the stage with Paul McKenna of The Best You, in one of the well-known thought leaders in Europe, and also with Willie Robertson of the Duck Dynasty, and also Kevin O'Leary on the Shark Tank. Now, Adam is also the creator of the Quantum Meditations, and he's the author of the best-selling book, The Secrets of As a Man Thinketh. Now, Adam considers himself fortunate to be able to do what he loves and to help people achieve their dreams. His life mission is to live more, give more, love more, and help others do the same. And everyone, we have an amazing presentation prepared for you today. We know you're going to love it. We are going to share with you some of the most advanced technologies in personal development and high performance. And now here's your host, the creator of the creator of the Achieve Today certification program and the director of coaching here at Achieve Today, Adam Mortimer. Adam, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Damon. Welcome, everybody. Kendra, Lori, Wendy, glad to have all of you here and all those that are joining by way of phone and the many that will come after and listen to the recording. We're so glad to have all of you here. And I'm excited about today because today we're going to talk about how to find and eliminate limiting beliefs. We're going to give you the formula, the secret formula that we have used to transform the lives of thousands of people. So if that's something you can get excited about, if you're excited about helping people, serving people, making a bigger impact in your own life and in the lives of others, go ahead and give me a hand raise. Let's make sure you know how to use that hand raise button there. All right, Kendra, I see you. Thank you. There's Lori. All right. And there's Wendy. Okay, perfect. We got everybody here. So thank you for that. Also, we do appreciate your participation today. Those that participate, we're going to give you something special today. For this awesome group. Hey, Damon, would it be okay if we give everybody here the entire Quantum Suite? Should we do that today? He gave me the big thumbs up. So everybody here is going to get the Quantum Meditation Suite. This is a $497 value. This is going to include meditations. It's going to include webinars. It's going to include some of my favorite ebooks. You'll also all get a copy of As a Man Thinketh in there. A whole ton of goodies here just for your participation. So if you're willing to participate throughout the webinar, I'll make sure that y'all get that gift. Is that a good deal? Okay, so you got to do your part, right? You got to give me the hand raises. All right, Kendra and Wendy, I saw you. Okay, there's Lori. All right, perfect. All right, so the first question of today is this. How many of you could do something in the next 24 hours in your personal life, your family life, your business life that would make your life worse? If you believe you could do it, okay, Kendra, you think you could do at least one thing, right? You know, whether it's eating a box of Twinkies, you could drive your car off of a cliff. I'm sure we could all think of at least one thing that would make your life worse. On the other hand, how many of you could think of at least one thing that you could take action on today that would make your life better? Give me a hand raise if you believe you can do. All right, there's Kendra. Okay, perfect. So at the end of the day, it's your choice. You know, all world-class coaches have three things in common. If you want to write these things down. High performers have three things in common. Number one, they're ambitious. I mean, they're hungry. They want to be the best of the best. They're ready to get after it. Ambition and hunger is vital in this industry if you want to become the top. Number two is that they overcome their fears. They're willing to face fear head on. The fear of, you know, believe it or not, when I started coaching, I was afraid of talking on the phone. I didn't feel comfortable talking to new people. I didn't feel comfortable speaking on stage. In fact, I'm very much an introvert. People don't realize that about me, but I'm a big time introvert. Do we have any fellow introverts out there? They usually are the ones that won't raise their hands. So we know who you are. Okay. So on the other hand, so definitely facing your fears. And number three is that they're 100% committed to succeed. So it's a choice. If you want to become world class, you know, you don't have to be the best and the brightest. You just have to be willing to do the grind day in and day out. You got to be willing to do what it takes. Read the books when nobody else will read them. Go to the seminars when nobody else will do it. Coach that, you know, in my case, 15 clients a day. Show up on the 15th session just as energized, just as excited as you did in the beginning of the day on session number one. That's over time, that can help you become world class. So here's my story. Is it okay if I share just a quick background on how I got to where I'm at? Because I think it'll really help you understand how you can do the same. You see, when I started at 6 years old, my family and I, we were homeless. I lived in a warehouse. I struggled. It was actually a tin building with no windows. I'm the middle child of 7 kids. So any middle children out there, anyone know what it's like to have your parents constantly confuse you with your brothers and sisters, not remember your name? My name was Bryson Tanner growing up. It was my brother's. But I was held back. I struggled with a lot of limiting beliefs. I felt like I just wasn't good enough. I didn't deserve it. I wasn't worthy. I struggled with health issues, relationships, and a poor self-image. I'm going to pause for just a moment because I want to do something a little bit different. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to let you guys control the webinar here today. And I want you to get the very best experience out of this. So I want each of you, I'm going to challenge each of you to write what's one thing you'd like to learn. Maybe you have a marketing question. Maybe you have a question on the different styles of limiting beliefs. Maybe you have a question on psychology and positive psychology. Maybe you have a question on high performance coaching and what it takes to become a high performance coach. Whatever question you have, I want to be an open book for you. I want to be a resource for you. So if you would take a moment, I'm going to give everyone 60 seconds. I want you to come up with one question. Kendra, Lori, Wendy, I want you to come up with one question that if you got this question answered, this would be an amazing webinar. So what would that question be for you? I'm going to play some music in the background as y'all respond to that. So we'll give you 60 seconds. Okay, looks like we've got some great questions here. I want to go through each of them. Kendra writes, how to start coaching and the steps to build it into it. I know I want to coach, struggling with where to start. Well, there's a process on becoming a world-class coach. First thing I ask my clients to work on is themselves. I've seen people who go out and go, well, I just need to market myself and get myself out there, and then I'll start taking on coaching clients. And I've seen people that are great marketers, but their fulfillment is horrible. How many of you realize that if you get a whole bunch of people to listen to you and watch you and you don't have the right fulfillment, that is a recipe for disaster? Y'all follow what I'm saying? So I don't believe that's the first step. I think the first step is really working on yourself, really making yourself the best version of you, cultivating, developing the right habits, the right mindset, clearing your limiting beliefs, getting rid of your own mind weeds, reaching a level of success. I think is important that you have a level of success that you can point to, that you can inspire others with. So we've got to work on you first and foremost before we do the marketing. But marketing is also just as important. I mean, you can't be a successful coach if you don't know how to market yourself properly. And people say, oh, well, it's word of mouth and I can do it that way. Well, that works for very few people. All right. You got to know how to really get yourself out there and let the world know that you're a coach, how to posture yourself. What we teach is neural marketing. So, how do you market people utilizing psychology? Is there a buy button in the brain? And we talk about all of that in the program. So you are right where you need to be, Kendra, to get started. We're going to give you a good overview on exactly how to get started and the steps it takes to becoming world class. So I'm going to answer that as we go throughout the whole webinar. So thank you for that question. Wendy writes, best way to release limiting beliefs. All right, well, we're going to answer that question today as well. Is there a best way? Well, I used to believe there was, but after coaching 4,000 people in 85 countries, working with the top thought leaders in personal development from around the world, and being personally trained by Joe Vitale for over a year, being trained by Jim Madrid, who's a coach for the Utah Jazz and the Seattle Seahawks NFL team. I was trained by him. I was trained by the Zig Ziglar family personally. And after working with all of these thought leaders, what I found was they have different approaches. And they would all claim, it's kind of like religion, right? Everyone claims that they have the true church. Everyone claims they have, this is the religion, it's this. And everybody has the answers. Well, the reality of it is there's a lot of different personalities. And there's a lot of different people on this earth. And there's a lot of different belief systems. So I started to develop a philosophy that actually made Bruce Lee a legendary fighter. You see, Bruce Lee came in, and I think often we can come into this mentality of what's the number one tool? What's the number one technique? What's the number one magic pill? And so what he did with his fighting, he would get really excited about a new style of fighting like the Filipino style of fighting or Brazilian jiu-jitsu or taekwondo. And he would get into this style of fighting and goes, this is it. This is how I'm going to become the best of the best. And he would get into it. And let me tell you, if you've studied Bruce Lee, this guy was incredibly disciplined in his craft. And he would go in with all of his heart, all of his mind, and he would master that style of fighting. And then he would go out and put it into practical application. And he would fail. He'd get beat. And he'd get beat pretty badly. And so he'd throw away the Filipino style and he says, well, maybe it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he would do it and he'd get beat. And he did it, well, maybe it's Taekwondo. And he'd study that and master it and do it and use that style of fighting. And he kept getting beat. And so he said, what in the heck? What's going on? And he started looking at it and he said, maybe no way is the way. No way is the way. Well, what does that mean? Well, every style of fighting has its strengths. Every style of fighting has its weaknesses. Depending upon the person that you're fighting, you can utilize Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, or the Filipino style of fighting, or all the different styles, depending on the circumstance that you're in. So what Bruce did is he had to let go of his attachment to his mentality that there's only one way of doing things and realize that depending on the circumstance and depending on the person, they might resonate more with a high performance style of coaching. They might resonate with a more metaphysical or spiritual style of coaching. Or they might resonate with a more traditional working with your subconscious mind style of coaching. Different belief systems, different personalities, different fighting opponents, if you will, require different styles of coaching. And many times it's a combination of the many different styles of coaching that I've learned through working with a wide spectrum of world-class coaches that can make you a legendary coach. I don't want you to just be a good coach or a coach that, yes, they enjoy getting along with. I want you to become legendary. And to do that, we must adopt a new way of being. This idea that no way is the way. Now, as metaphysical as it sounds, I have found that this is actually quite profound if you can be like water. Water will take the shape of whatever container it is put in. Water, a drip by drip, can make a dent into granite. Pretty amazing what water can do. To me, I meet people where they're at, in their current way of seeing the world. If they're a teacup, I fill the teacup. If they're the teapot, I fill the teapot. I really adjust my coaching style depending upon the people that I have in the audience, depending upon the student that I'm coaching. So the best way, in my humble opinion, Wendy, is no way. No way is the way that will lead you to becoming a legendary coach. Does that make sense, Wendy? Or any other questions on that? Or maybe I know that's not the nice packaged response you might have been expecting, but it's a little bit more profound and a little bit more complex in order, to become world class. There's a bit of a science and an art to what we do. Lori, how to start with personal coaching, where and who? Could you clarify, Lori, what you mean by that? Are you talking about like where to market yourself? I mean, I'm not sure I understand your question. Let's see. Kendra writes, so I'll come back to you, Lori, once you put some clarification in there. Let's see. I do real estate, and I feel I sort of coach my clients. We end up talking about life and their story and how unhappy they are. I would love to help them at a deeper level. I love doing real estate, but want to transition into helping people in a different way. Well, Kendra, that's why you're here. I mean, this is exactly what coaching can help you do. You know, it's interesting because one of our mentors that we hired, we paid him about $10,000 a month, and this is a guy that um, he built $5 billion companies and sold them. I mean, the guy's very, very well to do, very successful. He's traveled the world. He's done all those things. He's um, bought the fast cars and lives in the nice homes. And after all that is said and done, his occupation today is coaching. So it just kind of shows something. I I'm very blessed to be in this industry because it's one of the most fulfilling industries where you really get to go out and make a transformation in someone's life. So if you're feeling that, Kendra, it's probably because you're being called to it. Does that make sense? So there's a reason you're feeling that, and I honor you for honoring your inspiration, being here today. I think that's a first big step. Wendy says, "Thank you. I look forward to becoming legendary." Awesome. Well, and I want you to be legendary. Why do it if you're not going to become the best? Why do it if you're not going to become legendary? Why do something if you're not going to put your heart and soul into it? You know, I just look at something. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to become the best at it. I'm going to fine tune my craft until I become the best of the best. Wendy writes, makes total sense. Okay, great. Laura, yes. Marketing, IT, social media. How do you find your audience? Well, there's a lot of different ways that you can market yourself as a coach. All right. I think one of the most effective ways is doing what's called a joint venture. And so what we do is we partner with people. We partner with people that already have big email lists and they have clientele. And we partner with, so for example, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, Dennis Waitley, Carl Moore, Telman Knudsen. These are people that they're fantastic marketers. And they already have these big email lists. And what they don't have is a fulfillment arm. They don't have somebody to coach their clients. So we partner with them. Of course, you make a deal with them. You give them a percentage of their sales. And that's one of the ways that you can do it. Another way that you can do it is there's ways that you can buy leads. You can go out there and you can buy coaching leads. You can sign up for a coaching directory. There's a lot of different coaching directories that you can sign up for. So people that are looking for life coaches can actually find you. So there's a lot of different ways that you can really brand yourself. Social media, yes, that's important to have a social media account. It's important to have a YouTube channel so people can find you, they can learn about you, they can gain value. It's a concept we call pre-suasion. So the idea is, how do you position yourself before your client ever meets you? Okay, so that's a pre-suasion technique. So doing a series of videos, writing an ebook, doing a TED Talk. There's lots of opportunities to do TEDx talks. Those are great ways of finding clients, going out and speaking at your local Rotary Club. Those are all great ways of finding, often Rotary Clubs are chock full of business leaders. These are people that have money. And if you have a great coaching program, they might be willing to do it, or they may know people that can do it, or it could open up other speaking engagements for you. I know this is how Zig Ziglar started. He just traveled around and spoke at a bunch of Rotary clubs. They're always looking for speakers, okay? Speaking at local churches. Churches are looking for speakers and things that they can do to add value to their congregations. So there's lots of opportunities if you just get out there and let people know what you're about and what you're trying to do. Does that make sense? I give you some ideas. Who asked that question? Was that Lori? Yeah, I think that was Lori. Lori asked that. That makes sense, Lori? Yes. Okay, good. All right, these are good. What other questions do you have? No, let's, what other questions are on your mind? I'm an open book today. I'm here for you guys. All right, somebody mentioned best ways to clearing. I think some of the presentation is going to answer some of the other questions that came up. So we'll keep going with the presentation if you do. How do you develop your coaching curriculum? Well, the nice thing about uh, Achieve Today is we already have the coaching curriculum all put together. In fact, let me show you. Would it be helpful if I actually showed you what maybe one of the sessions look like? You can maybe see the structure of how we do it. Okay, let me do that for you. Let's see if I can pull it up on my screen here. I'll just pull up the coaching session number 1. Let me see if you guys can see that on your screen. Let's see here. I'm going to show screen number 2, so you should be able to see it now. You see it on your screen there? It might be too small to read it completely. Can you read it? Can you read it on your screen okay? I'm not sure if it's coming up too small or not. Okay, let me make it bigger. Does that help? Can you see it now? Okay, cool. All right, so Lori, this is the structure of the Achieve Today sessions, the coaching certification program. So each session has a similar structure. We'll give you an idea of what it is and what we've put together. So you'll notice at the very beginning of every session, you'll see a goal for the program. So the goal is to gain a clear understanding of where the student is starting from and what the student wants to accomplish while in the program. Now keep in mind, to put together this curriculum, let me give you an idea of what it's taken to do this. I've put in about 30,000 hours of coaching, 4,000 people in 85 countries. That's just me. But I also worked with 3 other top coaches that also had about 30,000 hours of coaching experience to help put this together. What I said to them is, I want you to come up with the best of the best material, the material that you know works, the material that you know gets results. And I also want you to pull from all the thought leaders that you've ever learned from the Zig Ziglars, the Brendon Burchards, the high performance coaches, the Jim Madrids, the Olympic athlete coaches, all of them, all of your experience. And again, 30,000 times 4 people. So you can do the math. It's a lot of hours that's gone into the development of this. And we took the best of the best of what gets transformation. And this is what we came up with. So this is what session number 1 looks like. So you'll notice there's a session, recommended session length is 1 hour. There's a session process. So these are the basic steps on exactly what you want to do on the call. I mean, we broke it down as simple as step number 1, call or Skype the client. And welcome and congratulate the student for the commitments that they've made to the program. So there's 3 key commitments that we have all of our clients make. Number 1 is that they have time, which is about 5 to 10 hours a week into their personal development and growth. If they can't put in the time, then we ask not to take them on as a client. Number 2 is that they're motivated, they're hungry. What we've noticed is that if they don't have that ambition can be a very hard thing to coach. If they don't have that internal desire to improve themselves, then there's a good chance that they're going to waste your time, and they'll actually be more of a headache for you than a help in your coaching program. Number 3 is we ask that they put some money forth, so that you don't coach people for free. They have some skin in the game. We always ask, what are you most excited about right now in your life? Notice what separates world-class coaches from your standard rookie coaches is your rookie coaches are very inconsistent. They're too hit and miss on developing really good sessions. What we've done is if you coach this in the way that we've outlined, the probability of you having an amazing session, an amazing breakthrough really skyrocket through the questions that we've picked, and we've taken a lot of time and energy to find the exact questions that create breakthroughs. So after you get them into a really positive state of mind, and of course we want to get them into a positive state of mind because we know that people learn better when they're in a positive state, right? When you're excited, when you're curious. This is helpful. By show of hands, is this helpful? Is this what you're looking for? Is this the structure? I know I'm really adjusting this based on your questions here, but is this helpful to kind of see what an actual session looks like? You're kind of getting behind the scenes here. Okay, I got a hand raise from Wendy. Okay. Kendra gave me a hand raise. Okay. And if it's not, I'm not seeing Lori's hand, so this might not be as helpful to Lori. Maybe you weren't looking for the. Okay, I did get a hand raise. Okay, cool. Okay, so session topic. Now this part, you really want to just read this to your client. You just don't want to sound like you're reading. So this session is to find out where you are in a few key areas of living the life of your dreams and to identify your starting point. So I'd love to hear how you feel about this topic. So let me ask you a few questions. So then we dive into the Achieve Today discussion. Okay, Lori, I see your hand is still up. Lori, did you have a question? Your mic should be on now. Can you hear me okay, Lori?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you okay. Did you have a question there?
No, I've been typing. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to type or raise my hand sometimes, so I'm still trying to figure out the format here.
Oh, no, you're good. You're
Okay.
good. Either way is just fine. Yeah, if you're taking notes or raising your hand, it's just fine.
Gotcha.
All right, so we will keep going here. So we dive into the Achieve Today discussion. What are you most certain about right now in your life? I love this question. If you knew you could not fail, what are 3 things you'd like to accomplish in the next 90 days? Now, we usually just ask, what would you like to do in the next 90 days? We dive into, if you knew you could not fail. And what happens is with that question, you start to give people the permission to dream again. What areas of your life are not getting the attention they deserve because of distractions? Now, why would you want to know what the distractions are of your client right in the beginning of session number 1? We want to find out what's holding them back, what's taking them away from the things that are most important to them. Are there any areas of your life that you feel you have a really good handle on right now? I love this next one. What daily habits or practices do you have that are helping you achieve your goals? So, and it's funny, a lot of these questions, you're gonna get people drawing a blank. I don't know. So they might find it hard to answer. So what I do is I just have them write it down and then respond to it for next time when we get back together. If you were going to double your energy levels right now, what would you immediately start and stop doing? This is another fantastic one. If you're going to double your energy levels right now, what would you start and stop doing? Then we dive into the 5 steps of law of attraction, knowing what you want, being specific, eliminate. Now we teach this all through questions. We go through this 3-step process, then we recap. And here's the power of recap. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think of all the things in your environment right now that are blue. Okay, close your eyes without looking. Think of everything that's blue. Okay. All right. Now, I want you to open your eyes and see how many things are blue. Go ahead and look around. Count them up. Notice everything you can that's blue in your environment. Was that pretty eye-opening? Did you see a lot more that time? Here's the idea. If your client doesn't speak it, it doesn't exist. Sometimes I find these great coaches, they have amazing sessions, but it's like their client's eyes are closed and they can't see all the blue, the value that you've given them. So opening their eyes at the end of the session, asking them, hey, what did you love about our call today? Is definitely an attribute of high-performing coaches. Then we preview and schedule the next session. So during our next session, we're going to discuss intention. It's really going to help you understand how to get very clear on exactly what you want in life. This step is key to your success, and I know you're going to love it and get a lot out of our next session. Let's schedule our next appointment. Does the same time next week work for you? And we give some homework assignments like the 3-step process. We give a whole explanation on how to do the 3-step process. And then we also have modules that go along with each session. So this kind of gives you an idea of the overall structure and feel of each session. So you're going to be plugged into a system and a process that has been proven to work consistently, and it's been tried on thousands of people. How many of you get excited about that? That we're not just guessing, but there is a system and a process, a structure that you can plug into to help you become world-class very, very quickly. It's pretty cool, right, Kendra and Wendy and Lori? Pretty amazing. Yeah, it's fantastic, right? So I'm going to show you, so think of the structure when I show you the 12 steps, because each one of these sessions looks very similar to this, okay? As far as you'll see the goal for the session topic, the questions to ask, you'll even have the homework to assign them. All of that will be spelled out very, very specifically. And you know what we found, what separates world-class coaches from rookie coaches, is world-class coaches have a system, they have a process, they have a structure. They're not just showing up going, well, what do you want to do today? I don't know what you want to do today. I don't know, what do you want to do today? They don't show up like that. They find a way that works and they stick to that. They're very, very consistent in the way that they do things. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you my slides again. All right. So y'all know a little bit about my story. I was homeless, struggled. My life today, I'm so grateful for the life I have today. I'm able to travel the world. I just got back from an amazing trip I took with my family. We went to Texas. We went to Dallas, San Antonio. We went to the silos. My wife is a huge fan of the Fixer Upper, so we went out there. Got to try the Alabama sweet tea out there. I mean, it was just an amazing experience. We went out to New Orleans. We went out to Pensacola, Florida. Came back to Tennessee. Memphis, got to go out to Graceland and see Elvis Presley, his home and where he was buried. Interesting fact, my birthday is August 16th. You know, that's the day Elvis died, if you believe he's actually dead. 1977, August 16th is when he died. And then we came back to Little Rock, Arkansas, back to Texas, all the way over to Utah. So really, really fun. Coaching allows you to travel all over the world. You can coach anywhere in the world. Right now, I could be anywhere, right? I happen to be in Utah, but I've done these webinars from Hawaii. I've done these webinars from London. I've done them all over the world. So that's the cool thing about coaching. Thank you. That was very helpful and very encouraging. Okay, yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Lori. I love that. I love that. I feel your energy, Lori. I love that. You got the exclamations there. I'm like, yes. We have some kindred spirits on the phone, some people that get excited about this, that you get to really make a difference in people's lives. So I always ask people what makes your heart sing, and what came up for me is to live, to give, and to love. And so to me, to live is a story of my great-great-grandfather who was crossing the plains, and he there's a lot of religious persecution. This is back in the 1830s, and he as he's crossing the plains, he's only 21 years old as he does this. A band of Native Americans come and they scatter his cattle all over the place, and so he rides out after them to gather his cattle back, and they scatter his cattle all over the place, and as he's trying to gather them back, he gets shot 3 times in the back. And he has one of those moments where he could so easily get up or give up, but he finds the faith beyond his own, and he ends up standing up, crossing the plains, and he becomes one of the great founders of the West. And so I come from that rich legacy of faith. Faith is such a powerful, beautiful thing that I see so many people losing faith in a higher power. So many people becoming cynical and bitter. I've lived my life both ways. I've lived my life without faith, and I've lived my life with faith. And let me tell you, it's so amazing when you can live through a childlike spirit of faith and have great things happen. I want to share something with you that this is, to me, this encapsulates what coaching's about. And it's a little video we put together, what we're about, what we stand for, what we believe in. And I want to show it to you and see what you think. So go ahead and take a look. You might need to push play if you're tuning in by phone. Just push play on your phone there. All right, so thank you for letting me share that with you and that message. To me, that's what this is all about. It's about awakening people's greatness. And yeah, it is a spiritual belief, but I believe we all have greatness within us. In fact, I know we do. We all do. I just got the goosebumps too, Lori. Um, and if you want to be a part of this movement and be a light to the world and really help people gain their faith again, to all the people that are losing it because a scientist told them that, they're I don't know. I just feel like so many people, not that science is bad, don't get me wrong, I love science, but I feel like so many people get in their heads that they're not living from their hearts anymore. How many of you follow what I'm saying? And to me, coaching is about living from the heart again. It's about really just being yourself and teaching other people to be themselves. And I really believe that when you're yourself, you naturally are great. You naturally are amazing. But we listen to the opinions of others and we let other people tear us down, or we constantly compare ourselves and where we're at to our development to somebody else. And we feel small, and because we feel small, we end up becoming like crabs in the bucket and we try to tear other people down. And to me, it's like, look, greatness is a gift. Greatness is a birthright that we all have. We just have to get away out of our own minds and our own heads and get back to that childlike faith that all things are possible to those that believe. And I believe all things are possible. I do. I believe anything's possible. And the cynical minds, the cynics and the critics of the world, well, they mean nothing to me, because what really matters to me is what I know to be true and what my heart is telling me. And the truth that has been reiterated over and over in my life is that you have greatness. You have the potential to impact the lives of a lot of people. Do you know the average person is connected to over 250 people? The average person. Well, what happens when you become a little bit more than average? What happens when you let your light really shine? Maybe people in the sound of my voice, somebody here today, will impact millions, maybe billions. I think giving's a big part of coaching. Coaches give of themselves, sometimes to a fault. they they want to help everybody else. They give of their time, they give of their talents, they give of their faith, they give of their energy to make the world a better place, to help people suffer a little bit less, smile a little bit more, laugh more, and really experience joy in this life. And finally, number three, the greatest coaches in the world have a heart filled with love. They really do authentically care about others. It's not about them. It's about helping their client. It never was about them. It's about truly surrendering the natural tendency we have for being egoic, the selfish part of us, the part of us that wants to go, look at me, look how great I am, look how awesome. An evolved coach will say, look at you, look how great you are, and look at the amazing things you're going to do in the world. One of my favorite parts about coaching is being able to see all the great testimonials. This is a gal from Russia. She was Svetlana, and she was very serious. She, in fact, couldn't get out of bed because of her limiting beliefs. This is the note she wrote me. Adam Mortimer taught me how to get clear, and within 2.5 weeks, my whole concept about life has changed for good. I even forgot what limiting beliefs I had before. They don't control me anymore, and I feel free. The only feelings I experience today are an excitement and happiness. When I think about what we are and what we're capable of, I know that each one of us are glorious. I asked Zig Ziglar how he impacted the lives of so many people, and he said, well, Adam, that's easy. I just choose to love them. This song really encapsulates the message that was shared to me by many of the world-class coaches, really the best of the best coaches that this world has to offer. Go ahead and take a look. Each one of us, each one of you are glorious. And the ability you have to make a difference in the world is real. And the world needs you more than ever. More than ever. It's time. It's time. If you're feeling called to it, you guys, I know I'm going off script here today, but I feel like with this group, this is a special group here today. It's time. If you feel called to it, if you've been resonating with it, it's time. Now's your time. This moment is your time. Today, this moment, now. It's time. The world needs you. We need more coaches. We need more people that are willing to love, listen more, understand more, care more, and to teach others to do the same. There's been studies done on life coaching. We know life coaching works from all the scientific research. Emma came in. Her family left her, lost her job, divorced. After coaching, she becomes a best-selling author. She now inspires thousands of people. She ended up conquering her depression in 30 days. Pretty amazing what happens. One of the questions that we always ask is, what is a limiting belief? And a limiting belief to me is an illusion of the mind. And it's amazing what can happen when you clear a limiting belief. This is a guy that was on these online dating sites and nobody was responding to his profile. After clearing a limiting belief, he got so inundated, so flooded with women wanting to date this man that he actually had to take down his online profile. It's absolutely amazing what happened with this gentleman. So how much of the average person's life is controlled by the subconscious? We know it's like 95% of the average person's life we used to say 90. We now know it's more like 95%. And here's a good visual of what's happening. Here your client is trying to get to their goal, but they have these limiting beliefs pulling them back in the opposite direction. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. Somebody asked the question, well, how do you find the limiting beliefs? How do you clear them? Well, you find them, first of all, by helping your client become aware, become conscious of the subconscious so that it no longer controls their lives. So checking in with themselves multiple times a day, setting an alarm on their phone, noticing their thoughts, noticing their feelings. What will happen is you'll start to see patterns emerge. The other thing we really look at is self-identity. We look at how people see themselves. We know self-identity is a key driver of human behavior. Imagine, for example, that you were the president of the United States. How many of your thoughts and emotion or feelings would be, or how many of your behaviors rather, would be influenced by that belief that you were the president? And most people would agree that most, if not all of your behaviors are driven by how you see yourself. So self-identity is huge. We also look at the common blocks like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve it, fear of failure, fear of success. We go through the real common ones that people have. And we began eliminating those limiting beliefs by turning off the emotional charge associated with the belief. This is what we call clearing. Turn off the emotion associated with the belief. We know that emotions and your self-identity are key drivers of why people do what they do. We teach people how to realign and create a new self-identity, a new self-image, a new belief system, which allows them to easily and effortlessly reach their goals. It also opens the channels of the law of attraction, and pretty amazing things happen. So take Every Day with Rachel Ray. This is a gal that came out and she had a one-bedroom bed and breakfast. She goes, I want to be on this big magazine, like Martha Stewart or Rachel Ray type magazine. Well, 30 days after starting the program, guess who she gets a phone call from? Rachel Ray. Her whole team came out and took over 6,000 photos of her one-bedroom bed and breakfast that nobody knew about, and her business today is now booming. So remember that slide I showed you where I showed you the structure, session number 1, introduction? Each one of these, imagine, are the same thing. They have the whole structure laid out, the questions to ask, as well as the module and the homework to assign the client to give you the highest opportunity for transformation with your client. Intention is where we dive into the why. We get into vibrancy. This is our health session. Basic things like drinking enough water, getting enough rest, eating a plant-based diet. These are simple changes in lifestyle that can make a massive difference in people's energy levels and outlook on life. We go to finding limiting beliefs and clearing limiting beliefs. These are key ingredients where we help people discover the unconscious, these unconscious belief systems that often, I call them hand-me-down beliefs. Have you ever you've probably heard of the placebo effect. Give me a hand raise if you've heard of that before. The placebo effect. This placebo literally translated, do you know that that means I shall please? And so it's basically, the idea is that you can give someone a sugar pill and based on their belief, they can heal because they thought the sugar pill would heal them. Well, I was talking to a client today. She goes, Adam, I just have high blood pressure. My whole family's had high blood pressure. More and more, I'm beginning to realize that it's not so much the um, the genetics. What it is stories, family stories. So think about this for a moment. We know that positive beliefs can positively impact health. That's been scientifically proven. We also know that negative beliefs can negatively impact your health. Anybody heard of the nocebo effect? This one might be new to you. The nocebo effect means I shall harm. So it's how negative beliefs negatively impact your health. Now, I want you to imagine if we know that a belief system can negatively impact your health, I want you to imagine a belief system that's told to you by your parents, like you have high blood pressure. And that is passed down to you. It's a story. My grandfather had high blood pressure. My mother had high blood pressure. Did you know that every one of my family members have high blood pressure? But guess what? I don't have it. It's a shock to the medical industry how it skipped me. I believe it's because of my belief. I chose not to buy into to that programming. How many of you follow what I'm saying there? And I'm not saying there's no such thing as hereditary, genetics. I believe that's part of it. But what I am saying is that there's also stories that have been passed down from generation to generation that can definitely negatively impact your health. And so why not give yourself the chance? The odds of, I feel better and better in every way every day. Give yourself an opportunity for good health by choosing to believe that you have a natural disposition for good health and high energy. All right. Visualization, we teach people the process of proper visualization. We dive deep into what's called submodalities. This is where we actually alter the size, the shape, the color of your thoughts inside of your mind, which enhances the emotional charge of the belief, which definitely leads to better behaviors and better results. Confidence. This is so fun. This session is one of my favorites because you could take anybody, no matter how low their confidence is. I had Bill come in and he goes, well, I'm like a -10, Adam. Can you help me? I said, absolutely. What do you want to do? He goes, I want to become the top salesperson in my company. I said, well, what place are you in right now? Last. I said, why? Well, it's not that I don't have the skill set. I just don't have the mindset. I said, well, would you like to get there? He goes, absolutely. So we began to work on him and work on his beliefs. And let me tell you, he absolutely skyrocketed. He skyrocketed in his success. And it was absolutely just amazing what happened. He ended up becoming the #1 sales rep out of 3,000 sales reps. He went from a -10 on his confidence to a solid 10 in only 45 minutes. How many of you just love to give that gift of confidence to someone else? Now, keep in mind, it's not just skills, it's not just mindset. You got to have skill set too, right? I could be confident that I could go do open heart surgery, but I might not be the surgeon you'd want to hire, right? You got to have skill set and mindset in order to have success. So this is the practical side of it. We look at your productivity and your time management, your clearing mastery. So mastering what you've learned so far, program mastery, your powerful mind. I love this session. I had a gal that came in. She goes, Adam, I just have a bad memory, and I just think I'm going to lose my memory because my mom lost her memory. She actually is one of the sales reps here. I said, well, if I can show you how to memorize 20 objects in less than 60 seconds, would you let go of that limiting belief? She goes, really? You can do that? I said, absolutely. So I taught her how to use her memory. Within 60 seconds, she had memorized, this was just yesterday this happened, 20 random objects frontward, and then she turned around. And what shocked her is that she could do the whole thing backwards. Needless to say, she let go of the belief that she had a bad memory. Remember, think about how powerful the mind is. They have done studies on children where they have them visualize. These are cancer patients, okay? Terminally ill children. They teach them the art of visualization and meditation. What they noticed They'd have them visualize a castle fighting off the bad guy, which represented their cancer. What's really amazing, what the body did, this is what gets me so excited. This just blows my mind. They actually measured their white blood cell count before and after the visualization. Visualization actually increased white blood cell count in the body. In other words, the body took the metaphor, the intention, it got it, it understood what they were saying, and it translated it to its physiological equivalent of an increase in white blood cell counts. How cool is that? And then finally, we teach people how to live a life without limits. Well, we've covered a lot today. We've talked about limiting beliefs. I gave you some good images on how they work. We've hopefully been able to inspire you and share some cool things that some of you, it's given you the goosebumps. And it's you definitely are feeling that call to action. There's 2 levels of certification. There's a gold level certification and silver level. The main difference is the number of sessions that we certify you to coach. One's an 8-session program, one's a 12, one's more of an executive high performance style coaching. The other one's more of the basic style. They're both very great programs. They're just different in that way. And Damon can explain the differences much better when you talk to him. Compassion obviously is a huge piece for those that really want to inspire others, having compassion and love for others. I mean, it's just, if you feel called to do this, don't do it for the money. Do it because you really authentically want to help people. I believe the money will come. If you really have a passion for it, you really do want to help people understand how their minds work, how to use their minds, how to become super learners and really superhuman in a way, and you become superhuman yourself. It's really, really fun to do. But don't do it for the money. Do it because you want to love and really help others and make a difference in this world and leave a legacy behind. So has this been helpful today? Can I get a hand raise if you feel like this has been a good use of your time? Is this giving you what you wanted today? Giving an overview of what it takes to become world class? For those of you, I will say this, out of everybody on the call today, and I know we've got a lot of people on the phone and a lot of people around the world, we have room for one of you today to work with us. You'd work with me directly or one of my trained coaches. It'd be Gil or Rainbow. Those are the two coaches that are qualified to coach that. What a great name for a coach, right? Rainbow represents light. You know, light is all the colors of a rainbow. So pretty cool. Great name. But that's what we do. So if you do want to do this, you'd want to reach out to Mr. Damon Castlebar immediately. His number is 800-748-5199, extension 4045. That's his direct email. What he'll do is send you the first application, and then that application will go to me. We will fill that spot within the next 24 hours. So time is of the essence, as our coaches' calendars at this time of year really fill up very, very quickly. And I know I'm booked out for a few weeks. And many of my coaches are booking out as well right now as we speak. So time is of the essence. If it's something you really feel called to do, my challenge for you is to take action on that inspiration and make it happen and become a world-class coach. My last question is simply this: when is now a good time to live more, give more, and love more? God bless everyone. I'll leave you with that video I showed you in the beginning. And may you have an amazing rest of the day. Bye-bye.